Whites, Georgia in their road reds, and we are underway. The Bulldogs have the basketball first.
Missouri will open up man-to-man, Dave. Defensively, expect Georgia to run offense. They've got to make shots. They've got to stay in the game early, especially when you're on the road.
Here's Morse. He'll get it to man. Now Dixon.
Frank Haith obviously going with, he needs some energy. Yankovic, the freshman in there, Criswell.
Shot clock dips under 10. Man, had it blocked by Pressey. And Phil comes out of there with it.
You were in Oxford when Missouri didn't get a lot of easy shots early. They didn't make many shots. Expect them to kind of push the tempo. Mark Fox, Georgia Bulldogs open up at a man match-to-match zone defense.
Back to Pressey. Missouri went 6.5 minutes before they could score against the Rebels. To start that game, they'll try here to get on the board early. Can't do it on 2 shots from Criswell, and a foul against the Tigers underneath.
I talked to Frank Haith, and they were disappointed in the fact they took 6 free throws. They weren't aggressive attacking the rim. They've got big bodies, athletic, big-shouldered guys. He wants them to attack. Mark Fox, when we spoke to him this afternoon, he knows his guys have to get back defensively. They want to stop Pressey initially, make Pressey earn everything he has to on the half-court offense.
Here's Man. Back to Dixon. They'll swing it around the perimeter.
Good pass.
Dante Williams had it knocked out of there. There's a tie-up and a reach-in foul. That'll go against Man.
Man, the freshman, has been solid, but like most freshmen, up and down. Offensively, there's almost an indecisive part. Not sure where to take it to. He makes good moves.
That rebound by Brandon Morse, averaging 2 a game. 6'7" freshman.
And you could tell early what Georgia wants to do with the pace. Run offense, see if they can make this a half-court game and keep the crowd out of it. Missouri has won 75 of their last 79 games in this building.
Man to the basket, and offensive foul. That'll be number 2 on the freshman point guard.
Man's got good size. He's 6'4", 204. It becomes a decision when you turn the corner, and you've got to make a decision. Is it all the way? Is it stop? Is it going up? Is it finding guys on the side? When I watched the Florida game, it was, again, there were decisions made that it's a learning process, and he'll learn them.
Well, Mark Fox really high, though, on the freshman point guard. Thinks he has all the tools, and you mentioned just great size. So that'll get Vincent Williams in the game for the Bulldogs. He wears number 11.
3-2 defense across the front will make Missouri shoot jump shots. They did not shoot it well at Ole Miss.
Criswell misfires, but a foul underneath as Yankovic gets the offensive rebound.
And I think what you get from Yankovic is the fact if it's just energy. It's a loose, young energy. There might be a bad shot here or there. There might be a bad pass, but it's activity. He's had games. He had 14 against Tennessee State. He had 11 against South Carolina State. And then he's been scoreless in the SEC, but he hasn't had many minutes.
Great size, 6'11". Williams picks up that foul for the Bulldogs, but this is a young man. Coaches just really love the potential for him. He spent an hour today working hard on shooting jump shots all over the perimeter outside the arc today with a couple of the coaches. I mean, had a real good lather going. You could tell the young man wants to be better.
Well, you watched him. In fact, he's 6'11", 230, has the European type game, right? He shoots jump shots, he puts it on the floor, he makes passes.
And got the front end to go. First points of the game. Took us a couple of minutes, but Missouri leads it 2-0.
A little full court press, little pressure 3/4 court with the 6'11" guy up front. He's long, he's active.
Bulldogs come in averaging 59 points a game. Flip it over, Missouri's averaging almost 77.
Well, we've already talked about the offense, and you said it right there. Georgia's 13th in this league in scoring, 14 in scoring margin. They've had a hard time putting the ball in the hole. And when you go on the road, one, you can control tempo with your defense or offensively, but you've got to make shots. Good pass.
Williams with a flush. Georgia took about 25 seconds off the shot clock, then got the dunk. That worked perfectly for Mark Fox.
Perfect possession, yeah. And all 5 guys ran back defensively. Pressey had nothing. Jabari Brown didn't have an open look.
He'll kick it out. Jankovic knocks it down.
Tough matchup against the zone. Normally guards are going to be running at him, and we said 6'11". He's got a high release point on his jump shot. Not many will bother him when he's shooting it.
8 out of 21 from behind the arc, 35%. Here's Williams. Morris bumped.
Dave, early on, Georgia is able to run what they want to run on the offensive end. Missouri's not taking them out. In the last possession, the drive, the finish. But again, if Missouri doesn't take Georgia out of things, they're going to be able to do this, get to the rim, and they can finish.
Well, Ross checks in the game. That's because Jankovic has 2 fouls now, 2 quick fouls. Youngsters got to learn if you want to play some minutes. Don't pick up 2 fouls early.
Stay away from your man, that's what you're saying?
Yeah,
Give him some space.
Well, right. If you want to play some minutes.
Most shooters understand that. Give your guy some space.
Caldwell Pope's first shot, in and out. Contavious averaging almost 17 points a game. The only Georgia player averaging double figures.
Preseason All-SEC pick, which was easy. He's on the all-freshman team a year ago. Just a solid player. Has huge upside left, too.
You know, you think about every team tries to shut him down, and he still gets his points every night. There's a foul. Williams has a good, powerful move by Oriaki to the basket, the 6'9" senior.
Mentioned free throws at Ole Miss. They were 5 of 6. Oriaki, as big a body as he is, 6'9", 255, did not go the foul line. They want him to be aggressive. They want him to catch and make moves. A transfer from UConn.
And let's face it, he's a good foul shooter.
Yes.
I may jinx him here, but I mean 70% at the line for the big fella.
A solid stroke for a big guy. Looks good.
Got a little wrap around before he gets set. I like the routine.
Something about style, huh?
See, I jinxed him. He had a little smile on his face, right? If you're going to do it with a little flair. That's what I always say. Well, Vincent Williams guarded by Pressey. Jurisic checks in. Nimi's struggled with his shot.
And Jurisic is a shooter. I mean, he can knock him in.
Well, they'll need it tonight.
Let's go back now. Do they rely on Lawrence Bowers? Yes, he is a great senior and a great leadership.
Well, Georgia's only put up 2 shots here in the first 4 minutes and 10 seconds of this game. They've made 1 of them. 5
possessions. They've had 2 shots. They have 3 turnovers.
Here's Caldwell Pope. Ernest Ross comes out to defend him, but Caldwell Pope steps in and knocks down the jumper.
He's the one guy you don't want to be patient if you're Georgia. If he's got it, I know about running offense, but his ability to put it right there on the floor, jump up over the top, knock in the shot.
Bell swings it in the corner. Got it. Jabari Brown knocks home the 3.
Shooter. They've got to get to him. They've got to make him put it on the floor, make him move some space before he takes that shot.
Jabari Brown, good shooter, 40% behind the arc. Dante Williams underneath. Oriaki got a piece of that. Mark Fox thought there was some contact on the arm. Bell kicks it to Ross. In and out for Brown. There's Oriaki with a foul.
The block on one end, Dave, changes the pace of the game. They got it out, they moved it up the floor, they missed a shot, but because of the activity, offensive rebound.
And over and back. Mark Fox wants a timeout. Let's go back. That last play, and watch Alex Oriaki.
Well, there was a block on one end, and now the ball can move. You've got the defense scrambling, and Oriaki comes from all the way to the top of the key. Nobody puts a body on him. He's the biggest guy in the uniform, so Mark Fox, his guys are saying, hey, he's the one you block out.
He had 16 points in the win against Alabama in the SEC lid lifter for the Mizzou Tigers. But like everybody else, not a great game on Saturday. Look around the SEC heading into tonight. There were 5 teams unbeaten. Of course, some of that can change throughout the night tonight, but Ole Miss goes to 3-0. The first one, they go 3-0 with a win last night, a thriller in Nashville.
You were there last night. Murphy Holloway and Marshall Henderson, they are playing extremely well. They're a very confident ball club.
Won 8 of 9. Oriaki gets it out to Ross. Ross pull up off the back of the iron. Ross struggled on Saturday, just 1 out of 7 from the field.
Transfer from Auburn. He has played 3 times against his Georgia school. 34 points in his 3 games when he was at Auburn.
Let's see what we have here. Foul against Missouri. Let's see. Oriaki will get it with a little hip check, says Jamie Lucky. That'll be number 2 on Oriaki.
Actually, had Jabari Brown second. They switched it to Jabari Brown. He was riding the hip. And the whistle came in. And Brown will have a seat on the side.
So Oriaki got all upset about nothing. It was on Brown. So Brown will sit. Webster Chan checks in, number 14, a freshman out of Ontario, Canada.
Little matchup zone from the underneath out of bounds. Caldwell Pope will try to find some openings.
Morris out to Vincent Williams. He'll step inside the arc, off the back of the iron, and the rebound to Keon Bell.
Good ball fake. You must convert on the road.
Keon Bell ran through there like he was a tailback and scooped it up over the iron.
You know, Mark Fox can't allow, he knows his team, he can't allow them to defend not at the rim. They're defending outside, but they've been able to now get through the seams.
Morris travels with another turnover by the Bulldogs, and you see, you're getting a little glimpse of the struggles offensively for Georgia.
Substitution for Georgia. Checking in number 20.
Now, because they don't shoot a high percentage, only 40 as a team, and they only have one guy we mentioned, Caldwell Pope, that averages double figures. So they're not comfortable scoring. And if that's the case, then I would wear out Caldwell Pope on shots. I would give him every screen in the book from the moment he gets past half court.
Caldwell Pope does take 27% of Georgia's shots and 41% of their 3-point field goals.
And you see there 5 turnovers already for Georgia, first 7 minutes of the ballgame.
Webster Chan, Ernest Ross, no good. Caldwell Pope with the rebound. He's also Georgia's leading rebounder, I might add. John Florvius gets it to Williams. Vincent into the lane. Good quick step, and he'll step to the free throw line.
Good quickness. He beat Pressey off the dribble, and if you get by a point guard, then that puts so much pressure on the backside of your defense. And Tigers were late to turn around. Right down the pipe, right down the middle, and Williams makes, really for a point guard, an easy play.
And number 44, Ryan Rosberg.
Yankovic back on the floor for Missouri. Ryan Rosberg, also a freshman out of Chesterfield, Missouri, checks in. He's 6'10", so 6'10", 6'11" front court right now for Missouri, if you want to look at it like that.
Well, Vincent Williams comfortable running the lead spot. He started the first 9 games this season. And with Mann on the bench with 2 fouls, he'll be out there most of the rest of the half.
Here's Pressey. Pressey has yet to attempt a shot. Doesn't have anything on the stat sheet as of yet. Bell has it knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to the Tigers with 18 on the shot clock.
Bulldogs trying to change defense, or they had 2 guys playing one thing and 3 playing another. As Mark Fox yells over there. He had a couple guys zoning, he had a couple guys on man.
Knocked out of bounds, now 14 on the shot clock.
Substitution for Georgia.
They walked in at shoot around today, and I thought, you know what, this team looks like a team would look 10 or 12 years ago. Thin bodies, you know, young faces, thin bodies. Because a lot of times there's so many big shoulder players, like Missouri's kind of has them this season. And I said to Mark Fox, I said, it looks like you have a young team. He said, they are young.
Yeah. Yankovic, offensive foul, and that'll be number 3. So Stefan gets the start tonight and picks up 3 quick fouls, and back to the bench he goes.
We said something about activity. They put him in the lineup for, and he's active.
No question. Missouri has attempted 13 shots in this game. Georgia's only put it up 6 times. Vincent Williams, another nice move by Vincent.
I think Williams is going to like the matchup. Webster Chan, the freshman, goes 6'7", 6'6". He can guard a point guard, but 6-foot guards don't think they can. I mean, he thinks he can blow right by him, and he did. Laid it in.
Well, there's no question. Vincent, great athlete, great first step. Now a foul as he reaches in on Criswell. Well, that'll take us to our under-12 media timeout. Tigers lead it by 4. Part of the.
But even that said, he's got to find it. He's got to be aggressive. His misses are better than other guys' misses or the turnovers they've had early. I do like what the Bulldogs have done, though. They've controlled the crowd and everything because they've stayed in the 3-2 zone defense, and Missouri has not responded well.
Pressey got hung up in the air, nearly a takeaway by Caldwell Pope, but the shot on the way goes down. So Pressey finally on the board. His first shot attempt goes down. Just not a lot of energy in the building tonight.
No, and again, credit Georgia for being patient on the offensive end. They take shots with about 5 seconds left in the shot clock. They've been solid in their zone defense. This is where Missouri, if they push, but they've not turned it up a notch. Pressey's not been aggressive.
All the way to the basket. That won't go. Loose ball. By the way, man back on the floor with those 2 fouls. And a foul against the Tigers. That'll go against Keon Bell.
Mann's got to be smart in the fact he's got 2 fouls. He doesn't want to pick up that 3rd one. But I think a smart move by Mark Fox. And the fact that Mann is one of your better players, is your lead guard. Trust him that he stays out of picking up that 3rd.
That is already the 7th team foul against Missouri. So Mann at the free throw line, 62% foul shooter on the year. And that was in the cylinder, wave it off. That may have even had a chance to go in on its own, but the goaltending by Dixon. So here's a little pressure from the Bulldogs. Pressey will get it.
Little 3-quarter, 2-2-1, slowly retreat back, and all that is to do is to run the clock down a little bit. Try to keep this game in the 50s, low 50s. At this pace, it might not get to 50.
Turnaround, good. Yeah, Criswell.
Got a good touch. I was going to say Missouri is hesitant when guys are catching, and then they're not shooting, but they're looking, kind of hesitant. The Henderson kid from Ole Miss wasn't hesitant last night, was he?
There is no hesitation in his game. There is none.
He catches and fires. It's fun to watch.
Big shot by Marshall Henderson last night. 35 feet away to send it to overtime, but 6 turnovers now by the Dogs.
Yeah, against his own defense, the soft spot is usually the free throw line, and Criswell is the kind of player at 6'9", 240. He's got a soft touch. He can turn, he can face, he can take that shot, he can put it on the floor, he can make passes. Missed 3 games, he's got a fracture in his left hand.
You know, I thought Saturday he really provided some energy. It was hard to tell that he hadn't played in a while, almost a month with the hand injury, but he really came to play, and I earned the start tonight. And a tie-up favors the Tigers.
Well, the coaching staff likes Criswell because he can do so many things. You know, not one-dimensional, not just a rebounder, but he can shoot it. He does things offensively. Obviously, because of his size, he can be a force inside on both ends of the floor. Pressey has been nonchalant with the ball and has not forced anything that's been successful. There's an assist to Ross.
Ernest Ross had really been struggling. Was 1 of 7 from the field, 0 for 4 on Saturday. So that'll do wonders for his confidence, I'm sure, knocking down that 3. And then a foul on Ernest as he pushes Caldwell Pope right into the Tiger coaching staff.
Well, the toughest thing for a shooter once you've had a bad game is to get on track. And Ernest Ross did not shoot well against Ole Miss. 1 of 7 from the field. He's missed his first couple tonight, but he stays with confidence. Coaching staff wants him to be able to knock in shots.
Caldwell Pope gets the first one to go down. Ernest Ross, you mentioned, played 3 games against Georgia when he was at Auburn. One of those games he poured in a career-high 30. It was an overtime win by the Georgia Bulldogs, but Ross.
Well, the SEC folks that are watching will know that, Ernest, as a sophomore year at Auburn, 13 points a game, nearly 7 rebounds. He looks like a middle linebacker slash tight end.
Yes, he does.
He's big shoulders. And when players transfer, Missouri has a few of them to try to fit in and to find their place. Sometimes changes game by game.
Get it to Pressey. Oriaki turns and fires and connects. Lead back to 11, largest of the game, matching their largest lead. Vincent Williams will pull up, knocks it home.
Nice.
Vincent now 3 field goals, his first from behind the arc.
Good ball movement, and Williams playing with confidence. I mean, he's running the show, getting guys in their spots, and when you have a young team, sometimes they don't get to the spots quickly enough because there's too much thinking going on. Good pass.
Bell out of the corner. That won't go. Oriaki taps it in.
Aggressive around the rim. Frank Haith said they didn't have that Ole Miss from Oriaki. Off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, 7 points, 3 rebounds for Alex. Here's Morris. Florvius. Shot clock dips under 10 again. Jurisic with a screen. Back to Nemi. Ball fake to the basket. Swatted out of there by Oriaki. 2 on the shot clock.
And you can tell Nemi, who is a good shooter, is not confident taking the shot.
He should take it. Good shooter a year ago, but really struggling for disaster with 7.5 to go in the opening half. Jurisic with 2 on the shot clock. Pressey, 1 out of 2 from the field. 3 assists for those 2 points. As you were telling me in the break, you could kind of sense Missouri wants to get out and run. They just haven't been able to do it tonight.
Again, Georgia's done a good job. Terrific pass.
There's Oriaki again to tap in the Ernest Ross miss.
Mark Fox understands his team, knows what they have to do to stay in this game. But again, they can't turn it over, and they've got to make some of these shots that they're taking. Get Caldwell Pope on a roll a little bit. He is the focal point. Florida shut him down really for much of the first half in that game.
There's another turnover. Ross picks it up, gives it to Pressey. Pressey now trying to find a little bit of room to work. Criswell. That won't go, and Williams grabs that loose basketball. Caldwell Pope. And the tip by Jurisic.
Caldwell Pope got out on the break that time, Dave. And the thing is, when he's aggressive, he's going to draw a double team or triple team because he is everybody's focused on him. It allows more opportunities for his teammates to step in some seams and find some open looks or offensive rebounds.
Ernest Ross with his second 3.
Ernest Ross for 3.
Missouri 4 out of 9 from behind the arc here in the first half. Cressy knocks it out of bounds. 19 on the shot clock.
Substitutions. Returning for Georgia.
Ball movement, body movement against any zone. If you can find your shooters. And the way Missouri's shooting it, there's a confidence tonight that wasn't at Ole Miss, but they're in their home building. And Ross has a couple threes.
Ross is a well-defined young man. He's got some broad shoulders.
Well, he pretty much looks Antonio Gates,
yes,
tight end for the,
exactly.
I did games when he was at Kent State, had that same build. And I'm not saying he can't play basketball at some level beyond this. How about that shot, the rainbow by man. But Ross, I would think he might be in a couple football training camps.
Interesting. Well, he's definitely got the build. Tony Gonzalez made a pretty good transition, I think.
Yes, he did.
Charles Mann was deep behind the arc. Youngster trying to provide. Look how far back he is.
You know, the nice part is he just kind of measured the defender. He looked at it at first and thought, I'm a little bit too far out here. Took a couple dribbles, measured the defense. Missouri, a different team when Pressey is not in the lineup. They search for guys to run their offense. Webster Chan, the freshman, usually runs point. Right now, Bell is out front.
Webster Chan, way too strong. There's Ross. Ernest Ross being aggressive this evening, and Ernest now with a couple of threes, and that little layup give him 8.
Often said, the air ball usually goes to the offense, doesn't it? Defense is ready.
Keon Bell just picked the pocket of Charles Mann and got 2 points for his efforts.
Another transfer. This one, Bell, you mentioned from Pepperdine.
Timeout on the floor. All by Georgia.
Frank Haith's team now doing it on the defensive end.
They have created 8 turnovers.
This is a team that is #1 in the country in rebounding and rebounding margin. But Dave, the first 2 games in conference play, they're 11th in rebounds in the SEC and 8th in rebounding margin. They've not been aggressive. They've not attacked. Tonight, we're seeing a different Missouri team on the offensive glass.
There is Missouri at almost plus 11.
And what has changed is that was a bigger number until the 2 SEC games. They did not rebound well down at Ole Miss. They were okay only against Alabama.
They hadn't rebounded until that Ole Miss game. They'd out-rebounded 12 of the 14 teams they had faced. Caldwell Pope elevates and knocks it home.
3 points.
7 in the game for Caldwell Pope.
He has solid footwork. He rarely takes shots that are just totally off balance. Gets set, got a great release, got great range.
11-point game. Bell to the corner. Criswell will spot and fire.
Wow.
Boy, that young man has got some talent.
How about that? That's his second 3 of the year made. He's now 2 of 5, but that was taken with confidence.
Junior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Started his career at UAB before transferring to community college and finding his way here to Missouri. And Ernest Ross just twisted an ankle. And he is down in the corner, and Georgia will play on until Missouri can get a stoppage in play.
Timeout on the floor.
Well, I don't know. It was almost.
Top of the screen, they're at the ankle turn. Boom, right there on the foot, yeah.
Just stepped on Vincent Williams' foot.
And the quick turn is very painful, as you can see.
So 2:45 to play before halftime. Tigers up 14. Vincent Williams has led Georgia here in the first half. He has 8. Caldwell Pope has the ball now with 7. Williams, long 3 on the way.
Wow.
Got it. How about Vincent Williams with 11 points in this game? Young man came in averaging just 4 a contest.
Shoots 35% beyond the line, and he has moved deep beyond the line.
Bell hangs in the air, gets it to go in off the window. Tigers now 15 out of 29 from the floor.
Only 2 turnovers. They had 19 in the game at Ole Miss. Taking care of the basketball. They've now attacked that zone better on their offensive end.
Dante Williams got fouled on the way up. Let's see who gets whistled for that foul. It'll go against Webster Chan.
Foul call on number 14.
Don't forget, coming up on the C Spire halftime report, we'll take a look at some of these first half highlights and, of course, review the stats. We'll also hear from Andy Katz, as he and Adrian Brantz talk about the Kentucky Wildcats. Figure out what's wrong with the Cats. It's coming up at the C Spire halftime report.
Seems to be a common theme, right? Everybody talks about Kentucky. Kentucky people are trying to figure it out. Might have been spoiled by last year's class, right? They are playing as though they are freshmen, and they seem to have a hard time scoring the ball. They're not too bad defensively. Buckets come a little tougher.
Oriaki doubled down in the post, and he traveled with the basketball. That'll be the 3rd Tiger turnover. A lot of contact down in that painted area.
Well, because of his size, I think what he should do, if there is a bounce, then just go up. You know, once you start backing in, most of the time officials aren't going to call too many things in there, so be aggressive, turn, play above the rim.
Good save by Brantley to keep it alive. Williams will try it again. That one won't go. We hit a minute to play here. Pressey. Webster Chan lines it up. That won't go. And a foul on the rebound. Keon Bell bumps into Vincent Williams.
Missouri foul call on number 5, Keon Bell. His second person.
Well, Georgia gets 2 looks at it here as they're now in the double bonus. Let me ask you this, John, as you look at Frank Haith there a moment ago. Obviously, Frank Haith openly disappointed with the club's performance on Saturday night. Expected them to come out and play well here tonight. Well, how would you assess? What do you think's going through his mind with his Tiger club here in the first half?
Well, I think he's pleased in the fact that they're ahead 12, could be 11. And Georgia doing what Georgia has to do to keep the game at a lower pace, right? So as a coach, you can't go crazy and say, we haven't done enough.
Right.
They're shooting the ball well at 50%. They don't have many turnovers. They've defended well enough and forced turnovers. And sometimes you have to let the game play to you instead of the other way around.
There's about a 1.5 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock.
And wouldn't Mark Fox love to have his club knock in a 3 and get it to 8 points to go into the half?
Right on
Thank
cue.
you.
Right on cue, Contavious Caldwell Pope. One last shot here for the Tigers.
I might go back to the old high school offense with Caldwell Pope and say, you're taking them all.
Pressey misses. The follow won't go. Oriaki's try won't happen, and you hit it. Contavious Caldwell Pope knocks down the 3.
At one point, as you mentioned, it was 14. It looked like it was going to go to 20 in a hurry. And I'm sure Mark Fox said patient on the offensive end. Try to find and play off of Caldwell Pope.
Right out of the locker room, Caldwell Pope can't hang on to the basketball. It sails into that Georgia bench.
Phil Pressey, first half, only 2 points, no free throws, only 3 assists against that zone defense by Georgia. Didn't really have many fast break looks. The game he wants to play is up and down.
Only 4 fast break points for the Tigers tonight. There's a loose ball in the paint. KCP gets it back.
You got the feeling, I mean, the slow game and the slow pace, the players are playing slow.
Yeah.
They're catching it slow, they're passing it slowly.
Morris will get it to Mann. Now back to Dixon.
The fans are slowly getting back in their seats and they're sitting down.
Everybody's slow. This zone, you're right, exactly. Of course, school not back in session as of yet. They'll reconvene on the 22nd. But nonetheless, good crowd inside Mizzou Arena. Good SEC opener last week.
And a good addition basketball-wise to the SEC. Mizzou teams are going to like coming here to play. It's got a great fan base.
And listen, look what it did for Ole Miss. I mean, Missouri went into Oxford. They sold out that building, one of their biggest crowds ever. Loose ball on the floor. And shot clock went back to 35.
I couldn't tell if it hit the rim. The ball looked like it was blocked into the rim, but officials getting together. They will straighten it out.
Mike Kitts, Jamie Luckey having a conversation. Yeah, hit the iron. So Jamie Luckey will take another look at it, but I think that ball did hit that backside of that iron.
Right when it hit and he blew the whistle, Mark Fox and his staff was right off the bench. They were going to take a look.
Mike Kitts comes over and just lets us know that they're trying to see if it's a shot clock, if the ball hit the rim, to reset the shot clock. And the ball did hit the rim on that first look we saw.
Yeah, looks like contact. As we slowly look how many times it looks good. Let's move on. Players are stretching.
Once again, you mentioned
some
slow.
Kind of theme. There's
slow.
a theme to this thing.
Slow is the theme, and now the crowd getting a little restless.
There's another way you can get a crowd involved.
Wow,
too.
They're going to say it didn't hit the rim, and a shot clock violation.
Maybe they had a different angle than we did.
Play on, and the Tigers have it.
Dave, you're speechless on that.
I am. I don't know what to say. I have gone to the reading glasses, so my vision could be a little off. Yankovic won't get it to go. He picked up 3 fouls in that first half. Did Stefan, and sat most of the first half and got the start.
Missouri foul call on number 3, Tony
Criswell picks up the foul. That'll be the first on the Tigers. And Criswell.
Yeah, we're a minute and a half into the second half, and I had the thought that both teams would come out with aggressiveness and attacking mode. Right now we're waiting really to break a sweat to get this thing geared up and go. And if you're Georgia, Missouri is laying there kind of ready to be had for a bit. You know what I mean? When you're on the road, you've got the crowd sitting back. You've done all you can to keep it at this pace and how it's done. And if they can get that ball in, you got a 6-point game.
Well, Dante Williams had 3 little taps, and unfortunately for him, none of them could go down.
Williams' ability around the rim and to get multiple attempts quick off his feet. No bucket.
Here's Brown. Brown in the first half, 3 points. Griswold steps in the elbow, no good. Oriaki, big offensive rebound. Long three from Brown, got it.
Jabari Brown for three.
13 second chance points, John, for the Tigers tonight.
Yep, another offensive rebound, and Brown hits his second three of the night. He had one in the first half. The transfer from Oregon, known as a shooter, only played 2 games for Dana Altman in Oregon. All-American type player out of Oakland, California.
Boy, had a great game against Alabama. Poured in 22 in the SEC opener for the Tigers. Pressey with a steal on the open floor. Reverse layup won't go. Frank Haight just looks down at the floor. And Georgia makes him pay on the other end.
How about that 4-point quick swing, right? You miss a layup, you don't get fouled. Pressey's not gone to the free throw line this ball game. He did not go to the foul line against Ole Miss. Preseason SEC Player of the Year, which I thought was unusual since Missouri had not played in this league.
A lot of respect for Mr. Pressey, and now he reaches in as Georgia on a little run out.
And there's activity on the Georgia bench. You know what I mean? Guys feel they've got something going here. And opposite on the Missouri bench.
Frank Haight just now pops up out of his seat. This is a Georgia team that just wants to hang around here, and each time they can take a second off the clock, better for them. Oriaki picks up the foul.
Oriaki has a tendency to react to every whistle, doesn't he?
Even if it's not on him.
Yeah. And so that human nature, an official, I don't think likes that. Yeah. Just human nature.
Ross, by the way, bouncing around like he's going to be okay. Twisted that ankle right here at midcourt before halftime. Here's Morris. Off to man.
Boy, Nemi's got to, when he sets a screen, he's got to be able to pop because he is a good shooter. I know he's not confident, but he's got to take it. He's got to pop, and if he shoots it, they become that much better on the offensive end.
They're not guarding him on the pick and pop.
Yeah. But he almost rolls into being guarded.
Right.
So there's a confidence issue that I'm not going to shoot it, but he needs to shoot it. I watched him this afternoon, and Coach Fox said, you know what, he's not with confidence, but we need him and his ability to knock in shots.
23% behind the arc is Jurisic on the year, 8 out of 34. Here's Ross, lines it up, knocks it home.
Nice pass from Jabari Brown along the baseline. He took it baseline. That makes that zone's going to shrink in certain ways, but you've got to find the open players. Ross made himself available right at the top.
Missouri 7 out of 18 behind the arc.
And Ross looked like he had a pretty solid jump even on the bad ankle.
Caldwell Pope off a screen. Griswold gets it to Pressey. Brown all the way to the basket, fouled by Dante Williams. First time Missouri's really been able to get out in any kind of flow in the open floor. That'll take us to our under 16 timeout. Tigers have open
percent from the field. You just do not have many shot attempts.
39 shots for Missouri and 25 shots in the game for the Bulldogs. So Brown knocks down the free throws. Caldwell Pope and Vincent Williams have combined to score 25 of Georgia's 32 points. Can somebody else help out? Caldwell Pope off the screen and got squared up that time.
Wow, that's so good. He's so quick and explosive. And to get to the shot, it's all footwork. The shot was the same. He was well guarded by Jabari Brown on the trail, or maybe it was Ross. But Pope is so good.
Well, Brown will head back to the free throw line. Florvius will pick up the foul. That'll be his first.
He's got a little more activity now on both ends of the floor. Guys are guarding, screening, moving hard, and you saw Caldwell Pope when he popped off that thing. He'd missed the one before, same shot.
Brown misfires.
Substitution.
Bell checks in for Pressey. Will get a rare break. Phil Pressey,
Tigers, number 5, Keon Bell.
first in the conference in minutes played. Boy, Caldwell Pope, I just look at his numbers. He's got 15 points again. Came in averaging just shy of 17. And it's just amazing to me, John, because you know every scouting report says shut him down, and he still finds a way.
Well, he's so productive. He only has 10 shots, and you really, you would think you would call his name all the time. I mean, he's only evolved a little bit in the offense, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he can do all the things, and he draws the attention. Where I think has to happen is his teammates have to play off his ability and use him, free him, make him make plays, and then step into seams. You'll get tip-ins, you'll get open shots. If you've got a star player, use him for your own benefit as a teammate.
Back to a 9-point game. Here's Criswell, strong to the basket, got bumped by Florvius. Criswell holding that left hand. Remember, he's got that broken finger. Where's that little wrap, if you will, in that left hand? Missed 3 games because of the injury.
To the line for the Tigers, shooting 2, Tony Criswell.
Looks like he'll shake it off. Criswell to the free throw line. He's got 5 points, 4 rebounds, and clanks it off the back of the iron.
You know, Dave, you could tell that there was some pain when he went down on that left hand.
Number 15, Dante Williams. And for the Tigers, number 44, Ryan Rosberg.
Criswell, by the way, a 43% foul shooter. Hey, if he makes this one, he'll jump that percentage up. Won't happen on that trip.
You know, all confidence because he's a solid shooter when they run offense. Some guys get to that foul line and becomes a thought process.
Traveling violation. Williams bobbled the basketball on the handoff. I mean, that's one of those turnovers that kill you. I mean, there was
unforced error in tennis, right?
That's it.
I mean, it's out in the middle, simple handoff, shuffled the feet, didn't get a hold of it.
Here's Brown. He'll pull up. A little too strong. Jurisic the rebound.
Georgia's got to make sure on their zone defense to get their hands up. They're now starting to play their hands down. Missouri can probe more efficiently, find the openings.
Brown hits a cutting Ross. Strong to the basket. Count it. Bad ankle and all. Ernest Ross goes strong to the hole.
I'm going to say good pass, but what a catch. I mean, he fired that thing. And Ross simply caught it and then was able to finish the play after the contact.
Substitution for the Bulldogs.
I mean, Jabari Brown throws this thing. That's a fastball, but right in the chest, easy to catch. And I think this is what Frank Haith wants out of those guys with as big of their bodies. Again, when you're only shooting a few free throws a game, no, they should go 20 times a game as a team.
Missouri team has taken 289 free throws this year. Ole Miss leads the conference in free throw attempts with that combination of Buckner and Holloway, along with Henderson, who's great at drawing some contact when the shot's not there.
And Henderson's ability to get the defense so stretched right now. It opens everything up for the guys inside. Vincent Williams continues his good play, 15 points, career high.
Back to those free throws up. Missouri, almost 100 free throws less than Ole Miss.
Well, that's 6. Okay, I already mentioned 6 free throws against Ole Miss. They only took 10 against UCLA, 6 against VCU. And they're not attacking the rim. And they've got good size.
Here's Ross, steps in. Left it a little bit short. Gaines, the freshman, with the rebound off to Williams. 12.5 to play. Jurisic off to Vincent Williams.
And how confident is Vincent Williams right now? Running the show, looking for his own shot.
Gaines kicks it back to Vincent Williams. Jurisic fires and got 2 field goals in this game as he knocks it down. Jurisic with 4 points and 3 rebounds.
How smooth was that one? And we've talked about it. That's what he can do.
He didn't think about it.
Even if you've missed some, you just got to keep shooting.
He didn't even think about it. He just caught it, popped it. Stefan into the lane, using that 6'11" frame.
Really created something out of nothing. I mean, he kind of put it on the floor, looking to pass, still finished it. But you mentioned the 6'11", the wingspan, the length. It's hard to get to a shot because of he shoots it like a jump shooter.
Big ceiling for him.
Yep.
There were a lot of jokes in there. Better be a big ceiling with 6'11", right? The rebound to Brown.
Not the shot Mark Fox wanted.
About that. Bobble it around in the corner, and then Brown just buries it right in front of his Tiger bench.
I think it got personal. He thought he was fouled. The bench thought he was fouled. He got it back and said, I'll just shoot it in. He has what they call the lean back shot. You know, he leans back, so he creates a different angle. Hard to get to him as a defender.
That won't go. And a foul against the Bulldogs. Jurisic. And that story right there on the graphic line explains Georgia's woes as Oriaki off the inbound makes it a 15-point game.
It's not often where you see the point guard taking the ball out of bounds, but Frank Haith always has Phil Pressey do it because he's the best passer and he sees the floor the best. Good cut by Oriaki, an easy layup. A mistake by the Georgia defense.
Yeah, you do not see that a lot. Usually the guard floats back, makes that strong cut.
Frank Haith likes the vision of what Pressey sees when he sees that whole court.
Boy, Vincent Williams is a whole new ball player here in Missouri with a career high tonight.
Dave, you mentioned the two guys scoring. Well, then let those guys shoot it and score. Set some screens, make some movement, be patient, find those two, see if they can crawl back in this game. 12-point lead, just under 10 to go.
Bell strong. Criswell with a follow. He'll step to the free throw line.
Georgia foul called on
Dante Williams, I believe, got that
number
foul.
15,
Dante will pick up his third.
His fourth.
I couldn't tell if Williams made the first block. Went right to Criswell.
By the way, it's fourth on Dante Williams.
Substitution for Georgia, checking in number 41, John.
And John Cannon will replace
For Williams.
Dante Williams.
Cannon much improved this season, sophomore year.
Just has trouble guarding down in the post. Got some good offensive skills, does John Cannon, but sometimes becomes a liability. And against a guy like Oriaki, you better be on top of your game defensively.
The number of free throws, Missouri much more aggressive, attacking.
Morris,
nice.
That's a three. Brandon Morris, just his second three of the year. He's 2 out of 4.
They stay within striking distance, huh?
That's all Mark Fox wants to do. Just give his club a chance late in the game.
You need a stop or two or a miss, and if you get a miss, you got to come up with that rebound, and then maybe there's opportunity.
Vincent Williams trying to build on that career high. Can't do it. Ross with some great defense, and now he gets the run out. Morris back defensively. And a bad pass by Ernest Ross right at the shoelaces.
Looked as though he lost control of it. He made an unbelievable block on one end. He tipped it to himself, and an easy 2-on-1, and I'm not sure he had a hold of the leather. There's the block, there's the tip, and then he comes up with it. And now you've got an easy 2-on-1 play, and I'm not sure he just had a hold of it.
Remember, twisted that ankle in the first half, left the game for a while. Looks like he's okay. Certainly ran down the floor like there was no lingering effects of the twisted ankle. There's Dixon. And coming our way. Good save by John Sunvolt.
I used to shoot this when I got it.
Right, just about every time. The only time you shot it's when you felt leather, right?
I wasn't going to give it back.
Right.
May not get it again.
That's right. You
That's
never
how shooters think.
That's how we That's how we roll in church league. That's how we roll in church.
That's how Henderson's playing down at Ole Miss. I guarantee you that.
Yes.
I may not get it back. It's going up.
Oh, nice. No look to Criswell, who converts the reverse layup.
Beautiful pass. He sees it. But I'm going to tell you, Dave, Georgia's hands are down zone defense. So that means Pressey, even at 5'11", can see everything he wants to see. Get some hands up, make it a little tougher for him, and a challenge.
Cannon with the rebound and loses it out of bounds.
But what a pass.
Under 8-minute timeout. Mark Fox has watched Phil Pressey put together a 5-assist night, and the Tigers lead it by 13. Georgia had it to 8 with the basketball in the second half, but just hasn't been able to get over that hump.
Well, three-court pressure. I think it'll be token and they'll back it off, but maybe they'll be more aggressive. Nope. Again, if the hands are down at 5'11", Pressey can see every seam he wants to see. If the hands go up, it makes it much more difficult.
Pressey only has 2 points tonight.
He's been patient. He hasn't forced a lot. And this guy, they want him to shoot it when he catches.
And a tie-up as Ross and Jurisic both had their hands on the basketball. Oh, somebody lit a fire under Ernest Ross.
Well, Ross has been terrific from all angles, scoring the ball and being aggressive on the offensive end. Rebounds. The other part of a zone defense, at times you don't find guys to block out. And Missouri has attacked that offensive glass all night. Ooh.
Big screen by Criswell, and then the pass to Brown. Boy, that was set up nicely from the get-go.
But Criswell set a crunching screen up top. And Pressey, again, sees the floor, put it right on the money. Good bounce pass.
Points in the paint. Tigers 28, Bulldogs 10.
And Georgia's got to be careful, and Missouri wants to turn it up a notch defensively.
Jurisic, little fall away. That won't go, and Oriaki with the rebound and hacked across the arm. And Oriaki tried to get a little Les Jones high five, and Les just shakes his head, says, "I'm not here to high five you, son."
Watch the screen up top. Boom, solid, and the backdoor cut. Right on the money. Oriaki, an emotional player, as we've seen tonight. He made that rebound and wanted a high five from the official.
Les Jones like, no, not tonight. 6 assists for Pressey as Oriaki gets it to go down.
I think all the Missouri players are laughing about it.
Well, even Les had a chuckle.
Yep.
You and I were talking a minute ago. Missouri's got to go play Florida this weekend. Great matchup. Excited to see that one on Saturday. But how about Florida? They got to play tomorrow night against Texas A&M. You want to talk about a quick turnaround against 2 pretty good ball clubs.
And that's at A&M,
yeah.
College Station. So you fly home, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning. You've got Friday to work, and 1 o'clock you tip off against Missouri. What a week for Florida. League favorite, here's your schedule.
Right. Have fun. Vincent Williams continues to add to his resume with a career high. He has 20 in the game. Caldwell Pope with 15.
Gives Mark Fox another confident player. You know what I mean? As you move in this league and game by game, Georgia's got young guys trying to find their way. And
Williams, the senior who lost his starting spot to the freshman Charles Mann. Caldwell Pope, a little double dribble.
Substitution for Georgia.
16 Bulldog turnovers.
Caldwell Pope knew he had a guy out in front. And when he initially picked the ball up, I don't think he thought his guy was looking.
Criswell will fire. Oh, and Ross.
Oh.
Foul call on number 1.
That's one of those, I think you lay there. It sounded so bad that you lay there to make sure nothing's broken before you pop up. Wow, that was scary looking.
You know, he got caught on Caldwell Pope's hip, it looked like, as he's up. And when you're in that position, you have nothing to break the fall.
Well, Mark Fox doesn't believe that was a... Didn't think that was a foul. He had a discussion with Jamie Lucky, but the foul is called against Caldwell Pope. Boy, that was scary looking and sounding.
Check that shooting. 1-1. 1-1.
The energy that Ross has brought into this ballgame, attacking the glass, knocking in shots, fighting every possession.
Converts the free throw, and Ernest Ross with 15 now leads the Tigers in scoring. 3 Tigers in double figures. Brown with 13 and Oriaki also with 13. Phil Pressey 2 points but 6 assists. In and out. And now Ross limps back down the floor. I think his back might be tweaked now. He's asking to get out. I think when he turned to run.
Yep.
Yeah, something's bothering him physically. You can see the...
Like any good player, though, you're going to shoot your own free throw.
Right. Good night for Ernest Ross.
Terrific.
Coach Hayes said he wanted to see some toughness. I think he's seen plenty of toughness out of Ernest Ross tonight. That pretty much sums it up. 17 turnovers now. And Missouri's poured 15 points in off those turnovers. Bell tied up with Florvius. And for Florvius, that'll be his 4th.
To the line for the Tigers, shooting 2. Keon Bell.
Right. And Bell knocks down the free throw. 18 free throw attempts tonight for Missouri. Cannon back in the game.
Second half, the Tigers have been aggressive against that zone defense. They've not settled for jump shots. Jabari Brown's hit a couple, but they have attacked the seams.
Boy, what was an 8-point game at the break has exploded to 18 and about to get perhaps even larger.
Timeout on the floor, called by Georgia.
Mark Fox wants a timeout, trying to tell his guys to calm down. We have had some silly turnovers, I'm sure. 67-49, Tigers in front. In Ole Miss on Saturday, but the Rebels win last night to keep their mojo going. They've won 8 of their last 9. Some scores from around the SEC. You see Auburn on the road at Arkansas, 64-61. Now, Kentucky goes to Auburn this weekend on Saturday night. That'll be interesting over on the Plains. South Carolina going at it with LSU. Tigers up by a pair. Alabama and Mississippi State in the first half. Over in Starkville, how about the Bulldogs? Trying to go to 3-0.
I like Tony Barbie's squad. They've got junior, senior leadership. Frankie Sullivan, quite a player.
Yes.
He can make big-time shots and big-time plays, and you got to have him if you're going to win games.
Getting some post play out of Rob Chubb.
Yeah, he played excellent. They played a good game, South Carolina, that win on the road.
Here's Jurisic. Here's Caldwell Pope with 15 points, 5 of 11 from the floor. Here's Brantley now on the wing. Georgia still staying content. Take this shot clock under 10. Jurisic spins on Criswell. Nowhere to go. Caldwell Pope can't get the little chippy to go. Fresh shot clock. Williams. Hit. And let's see if that's 3. And it will be 3 free throws for Vincent Williams. And that'll be the first time Georgia's been to the line here in the second half.
All caused by the offensive rebound, aggressiveness. Kick back out. Williams has had an outstanding night.
Vincent Williams at the free throw line had been struggling. I mean, here's another guy. You go, how'd this happen? He came into this one 8 out of 18 at the line, but tonight he is now 6 out of 6.
Substitution for the Bulldogs, entering the game number 32, John Flores.
And continues to build on his career high, 22 points.
Yeah, the number makes no sense when it says 44% free throw shooter, the way he shot the ball tonight. Well, maybe it changes his season.
Caldwell Pope and Williams, John, have combined for 38 of the Bulldogs' 49 points. Or, excuse me, 38 of their 52 points. Forgot to add 3 there. That's that Florida State match coming back to bite me again, boy. I'm telling you. Should have paid attention. I will get out the calculator when we come back. I do know this. It's 67-52 with 3:46 to go. Criswell. Now 3 out of 5 at the line. He's in double figures. In a game that was so sluggish in the first half, I thought Criswell provided that spark for Missouri to take that lead in the first half. But it's been Ernest Ross, or was Ernest Ross, here in the second half that brought the energy.
You almost have to give Missouri credit for being patient and not losing their patience on how the pace of this game.
Brown to the basket, tripped. Caldwell Pope will pick up the foul, and Contavious now has 2 in the game. Everybody seems to be all right.
There have not been many runouts.
No.
You know what? Georgia's got back defensively all night. This time Brown got half a step. Boy.
Not a hard foul, but a hard fall for sure. We've seen a couple of those.
There's not a lot of give in the hardwood floor down below.
And Jabari knocks down the free throw. Jabari, 84% foul shooter on the year. Came in averaging a little over 13 points a game, and when you know it, right around that number tonight. Jabari 4 out of 8 from the field, has 15 points along with Ernest Ross.
I mentioned in the first half, when you're running offense and you've got a young team, all 5 guys have to understand where to go, when to go, and how hard. Usually for Georgia tonight, there's been one of the 5 not quite sure where to go. Wow, nice bucket there. That's what he can do.
Jurisic knocks down the 3. And Nimi with 7 in the game, 5 rebounds as well. And we watched him do that a lot a year ago, but just hadn't been there this year. Two and a half minutes to play. Cressy, he'll stop and fire. He knocks down the 3. Well, this weekend we told you about one of those games that we certainly have an eye on. Kentucky travels to Auburn for a late start, but games on the SEC network include Arkansas and Ole Miss, the 2 highest scoring teams in the league going at it in Oxford. Vanderbilt, how will they respond after that heartbreaking loss last night to Ole Miss in overtime? They're at South.
And to score the basketball, which is, it's kind of throughout the league, teams are having tough nights. Shooting, getting points. Ole Miss not having a problem with that.
No.
And I would expect another big crowd this weekend when Arkansas comes.
Students will be making their way back onto the campus in Oxford. And I think they had the 10th or 11th largest crowd in the history. Tad Smith Coliseum, but something tells me they may have some bigger numbers as the year goes on in Oxford. Oriaki to the bench. 13 points, 8 rebounds. Good night for Alex.
Numbers that Frank Haith wants on a consistent basis. Be aggressive, attack the offensive boards, be a presence in the post.
Shot clock down to 3. Bell into the lane. Lost the handle and shot clock violation. Frank Haith is upset. He was imploring for his guys to move. Wanted some motion on that set. Nobody was really moving. Everybody's standing around.
And to get guys in spots, again, they have new faces, new players too. Yeah. And when guys aren't in spots and you're trying to run something, and a guy makes a penetrating move, he tried to throw it inside. That was Bell, and he had a guy stand wide open in the corner. Recognition. It may look easy, but when you're playing and you're thinking too much, it's not. What a pass.
Jurisic had to go with the left hand. He's fouled in the process. Didn't expect that pass. Boy, Vincent Williams has had a tremendous night for Georgia. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Well, the confidence that he's played with, God, that's terrific.
To the free throw line for
and
Georgia.
I've always said this. It's been one of my gripes with stats. Vincent Williams put Jurisic in a perfect spot to get to the line. I've always believed this. If the guy goes ahead and makes both free throws, you should give the guy the assist.
I agree with you. I agree. Because that's an assist right there.
Yeah.
Put it right on the money. The guy gets contact, makes the bucket, doesn't make the bucket, but he goes to the free throw line.
Nobody listens to me, though. That's apparent. It's not just here,
I've
it's
tried.
at home.
I've tried
you've done it. You've put up a good fight tonight. There's no question. So Jurisic knocks it home, and Georgia takes a timeout with 1:20 to play in this one. And a 14-point game. Many of the folks here at Mizzou Arena heading for the parking lot to get home on this Wednesday night.
Sets up for a big game Saturday, huh?
I mean, at Florida, the 10th ranked team in the country, the number 10 spot held by Missouri just a week ago. That'll be Saturday on ESPN. And coming up for Georgia, the Bulldogs will this weekend host LSU. And then on Wednesday, they'll have the opportunity to see Florida as well. And then Texas A&M, Auburn, South Carolina. Boy, that is not an easy road for the Bulldogs.
No, they've already played Florida and lost 77-44 in that SEC opener. Florida has been playing so well in a defensive end. Shutting down angles for people, opportunities for teams. They've taken away best players of each team.
So they lose Casey Prather, though, one of their glue guys, and does a lot of things for Billy Donovan. He's out for a little while, and they've been battling some injuries this year, but they continue to play well. And you know what? When you hold opponents to 52 points a game, you're going to have a shot every night to win. Boy, if they can hold Missouri to 52, that'll be saying something.
Substitutions for Georgia, returning from Florida, number 41, John Cannon, number 42.
So Bell getting some freebies at the line. Bell with 9 points, trying to become the 5th Tiger in double figures.
And any coaching staff likes that stat sheet, right? You have 5 guys in double figures, controlling the offensive glass. Not as many, only 9 turnovers.
Georgia would love 3 guys in double figures. And Bell throws it in.
I thought he was going down hard too. It looked like he was off balance.
Man steps into the shot, no good. Tapped around. Gaines will now launch one. He knocks down.
3 points, Kenny Gaines. Time out on the floor, called by Georgia.
Go back to that Bell semi-slam, if you will.
Well, when he went up, it looked as though his body got twisted. I thought he was going to come down hard again. Ooh.
Boy, got his feet tangled up on Charles Mann. But it's all smiles for Bell, who now has a dozen points, 4 assists tonight.
And Mark Fox calling the timeout. People wonder why. Well, you keep coaching. You try to put in some situations and keep working with your young players. They will have to regroup. And
Pressey's not going to be there.
very similar to their win against Alabama here. It was other guys that stepped up. Where they may need and where you need an All-American is usually on the road. Home games usually take care of themselves at times. All-Americans step up on the road, make big plays, take crowds out of it.
Bell will back it out. Under 30 seconds to play.
High screen and roll. Shot clock running down. Looks for a shot.
Bell once again looking like a tailback. Covers up the basketball through the traffic and picks up the first down for the Tigers. Jurisic.
You like that little football, man,
I do.
don't you?
You know, I just wrapped up 20 games. I'm locked in though to the bouncing ball now. Matter of fact, I had a Missouri-Tennessee game earlier this year in football. What a great game that was in overtime. Yeah. Gaines. And that will do it. Well, Missouri came in averaging almost